Well, hey there. What's going on, guys? Belleair here. Got a little bit of old flip and spin action in the background. The new Carmine Core trio are going up against 2/3 of the new Dignitas roster. Stizzy and apparently Jack are playing with Metzer here, but come RLCS time, as Jack just announced on Twitter something that there were rumblings of beforehand, he's going to be joining forces once again with Joreuz, who had a great offseason. The peak of that was an excellent esports World Cup as a part of Chiefs Esports. They end up going 5th or 8th in that tournament, and Joreuz was on fire. But like I said, we've seen this duo before. Back when I really started becoming a fan of the RLCS, in like the Season X 21-22 seasons, that Jack and Joreuz duo was potent. I remember one of the first things I ever made was actually this long-form Reddit post where I had broken down a game and a play by Joreuz in particular at one of the LAN events, as Jack is going to get a really deft pass there to Stizzy, who's going to try and take this the whole way. Metzer is up, it's over his head. Don't worry, Jack's going to probably try and bang this. Stizzy's going to pop, and they're just looking to kind of find their footing here. This Carmine Core roster has them suffocated so far, but not to worry. I had started off making that Reddit post, and as you well know, I have now taken my talents to South Beach, also known as YouTube, and Twitter, I guess. And yeah, that team was one that really caught my eye early, especially Joreuz. There was a point in time where he was certainly my favorite player, and it's cool to see this duo come back together. They're obviously at different points of their careers, and I always have to catch myself. I take too much of my NBA knowledge and lore into the RLCS sometimes. Just because somebody is deeper into their career doesn't necessarily mean that they are worse. There's not the natural breakdown of the physicality that comes with traditional sports in the RLCS. Just because Jack and Joreuz are older doesn't mean they're going to be worse off. In fact, they might even be better. It's obviously speculative, but we'll see. I think something that really excites me about this team is, statistically, they all had great results last season. All three of these players were above average in every single core stat when we're talking about, A-tier events for players who are above 50 games. The only person who is below average in any stat is Jack with his saves, and we've talked at length about how Genji wasn't really using him on the defensive end. That wasn't really what they were trying to do on the pitch. Joreuz and M80, their results have been well documented on their failure to get over the hump with the quarterfinals last season, but still good results. And Stizzy is a player who I just put out an episode of the New Year's podcast, great dunk there by Jack, where I talked about 12 players who I am most excited for next season, and Stizzy was high on that list for me. I think he's a player who can really show us what he's capable of come this season. And let's look back at this one real quick. Might have got a little too happy and gone a little too far back on this replay, but alas, great pinch by Jack, and then the dunk that we saw once again. I think this is going to go the other direction and then come back for a quick score, as Jack's going to pop this. Metzer, right place, right time. That one's just going to float over. That's how for a Dixon. What do you think about this team when we start to consider what teams from Europe are going to make lands? I think we all probably have Vitality and Carmine Core as locks preseason. And that just leaves 2 more spots for the Toxic Comic Braziers, for the Oxygen Squad. I'm certainly missing several other excellent teams. Of course, what we now know is going to be the new Ninjas in Pajamas with Itachi and Oski and Mass. I'm certainly forgetting some others, but I think that this team have a great shot to be considered for against moving forward. This duo of Jack and Joreuz did not have a great finish to their first time together at LANs. They went 9th through 12th in the 21-22 Winter LAN. Not very impressive. They end up missing out on the Spring LAN altogether. And then come the World Championships, they went 0-2 to get knocked out of the group stage. I think they had lost to, was this Samurai Gaming at that point in time? Then they also lost to the club, which is the last time that we saw Lost and Yan playing against one another as opposed to being on the same team. This game's about to come to a close and we are tied. Looks like we might be about to find overtime. Jack is just gonna bump Atau off of that play to end it right there. Let's see what we're gonna get out of overtime. Great loss, straight to Tira. Stizzy is up, gets the pop to himself in the corner, is gonna try and control this, beats two to try and break out, but here's just gonna try and stay on this. Jack is gonna take our boost to keep us in the play. There's a lot of space that Stizzy's looking to close down on Carmine Core 4. Jack gets up to this one, is going to miss it. Who is that on the rebound? Is that Metzer? Yes, it is. Stizzy's going to pop it. He's going to pay for his life. Trying to keep this pressure here. Carmine Core is so dangerous once they get into your half, but Jack is going to play it safe and back off. Let's see if they can get this going once again. That one's going to get over the head of Raleigh. Catch and pop by apparently Jack. Stizzy has an opportunity to put that away. He is going to slot it. Let's look at the view on that one. Let's find our Stizzy. Here we are. Metzer, pop off apparently Jack, and then hits that one with power. Raleigh and Tira probably could have made a play on that, but well done there as Jack is going to get the MVP. No goals, but an assist and 3 saves. Not what we typically expect from apparently Jack. Let's watch one more here of Jack and Joreuz from back in the day and talk about what this team might look like on the pitch. All right, let's go look at these decals. This is from the World Championship from the 21-22 season. The last time that we saw this duo, like we said before, Joreuz, that's pretty tough looking. I like that quite a bit. It is neural network, which I'm typically not a fan of, but he's kind of blurred out the additional color, so I kind of like that. Let's hop around. This is apparently Jack. This Dignitas decal was just not it. You got to respect that everybody was still on the Octane in this game. Something that don't really see too much anymore. Let's try and hop around here. Get back to our decals. Who is this? We have Astromic and KV1, meaning that this is lost on the old carbonated with the White Reapers. Love to see it. KV1 is on the Phoenix, so this is our boy Astromic. What's that, the MG88? Is that what that one is? Dual Titanium White Reapers. Club looking pretty ferocious. And then KV1 with a boring out of 10. Scrub Killer, let's go. Look at this thing. This is actually something that Joreuz used to rock, the skulls. I actually use this quite a bit when I play as well. The black DSEs, that is pretty clean. It pops quite a bit. I dig it. All right, let's get on to our player point of view. Let's find Joreuz and let's kick off the action here and see what Dignitas are able to do to this club roster. I'm not going to talk too much about the history of this game because that's not why we're here. Really what I want to talk about is how we think this new look Dignitas roster is going to look once they are on the pitch. Now, back in the day, apparently Jack hadn't yet won his first LAN event with Gen G. We of course know that it's actually going to be the next event that Jack is going to play once he moves over to North America. So after the end of this poor season, everybody's going to split ways. I think Scrub, I don't remember where he ended up going, but he took kind of a journeyman approach after this, ended up on several teams as Joreuz needs to keep his head on the swivel here. KV1 is totally headhunting him. Great pinch out, great double to beat two, and Joreuz is lucky he was able to grab that boost there. He missed it. Everybody ends up going their own ways. Joreuz is going to go to Oxygen alongside Archie and Oli, And yeah, Jack is going to make his way over to North America with Nolly, and they're going to pick up Chronic. And it's all history from there. At this time, Jack really wasn't the complete ball magnet, which has a negative connotation, but he wasn't the do-it-all player that he kind of became for Gen G, especially the season before the last one that we just had. We, of course, have talked about how First Killer ended up taking back over and the offense became a lot more heliocentric than it was from the jump. But the season before that, Jack was kind of doing it all for Gen G. And at this point in his career, he is really splitting things a lot more evenly. Scrubkilla is a great defensive player, and I feel the same way about Joreuz as well. I would probably say that at this time, from what I recall, Joreuz had the most venom on the offensive end for this team. I, of course, it is what it is. Now, last season, we saw Jack really had truly low save numbers, and I think that that is in a big way due to just where he was positionally on the field. Stizzy was having an excellent season with a pretty weird Dignitas roster. Looks like his best attributes are as a goal line defender and as a facilitator. And then Joreuz really came into his own defensively, but showed us once again that he still has some pop on the offensive side of the pitch. So I think what this team is probably going to try and do is unlock Stizzy. Joreuz is probably going to most commonly be our anchor, our defensive third, and Stizzy will probably split that responsibility. I would assume that Jack will come back down to earth a little bit and not be so far upfield, just given the talent that he has around him. And what I think that is going to mean is this is going to be a team who is really great on the counter. We have seen that Jack has been excellent in transition, even in that season when he was teaming with Chronic and Nolly. That was a transition-heavy team who was able to sustain pressure and then break out. I think Joreuz can do the same thing. He showed that last season on M80, and even that Chiefs roster, they actually were pushing the pace a little bit at the Esports World Cup. And I don't want to get too anecdotal with just one event that is not even the team that he's on. But yeah, I would look for this team to counter quite a bit. I think that they might struggle against Carmine Core and Vitality. Carmine Core is just such a suffocating offense, although we have seen Jack and Stizzy do pretty well defensively in 2v2 tournaments this season. Jack should put that one away. Joreuz is going to put that directly into a defender's who's going to rotate out here. Missed the boost yet again. Joreuz, what was going on, bud? That doesn't matter. He's going to bang that one in. What is going on? This is supposed to be high-level Rocket League, as KV1 is going to let that one sky above him and then cannot recover to make the save, as Dignitas is going to go up 2-1 here. I think this is game 3 or 4 for what it's worth. What do you guys make of this team? Who do you think is going to be the standout talent? Do you think that Joreuz is going to pop back up and show us that he still has something? Do you think that Jack is going to be a leader, not only vocally for this team, but also as a playmaker on the pitch? Or, oh my goodness, Joreuz, forget about Stizzy for a second. What on earth? Thank you very much, Lost. Pop that one down, and then the double. Oh my goodness. Off the ground. That was insanity. Joreuz with a really heads-up play to potentially put the dagger in the hearts of the club here. Or is this going to be Stizzy's breakout season? I personally think that this is going to be a committee effort, but Stizzy has been putting in the hours. He's been grinding a lot, especially in rank 2s. As Joreuz is going to get a silly one here, probably for the hat trick. Yes. But I'm excited for this team. I really am. I think that Europe is going to be deep, and I don't think that it's as straightforward as we think it might be. There's still some other really exciting teams, like a Chronic is going to be playing alongside Eugen, a player that we've covered previously. There's still a lot of other talent as we reach the end of the game that we'll probably break down before the season starts as things start to lock. But guys, who do you think is going to be the standout player for this team? And what are your expectations of them for lands moving forward? Is this a land lock, or are they going to be jockeying for position? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope that you guys have a great day and are excited for the FIFA E event tomorrow. I said in my video yesterday that it would start today. I woke up really excited just to be disappointed by the fact that that event doesn't start till tomorrow. But I'm going to go shoot some hoops. So I will see you guys later. Thanks for giving me time out of your day. And as always, till next time, guys, take it easy.